I trusted him more than I trusted myself, and that was my mistake. We were the golden couple in Silicon Valley's tech bubble, or so it seemed. Blake and I had it all, a beautiful home, a loving relationship, and a future that seemed bright. But behind closed doors, he was suffocating me with his lies. I gave him my best years, and he took them. He took my trust, my love, and my heart. I was blind to the signs, or maybe I just did not want to see them. He would come home late at night, smelling freshly showered, and I would just assume he had been working late. But now I know he was working on something else, a relationship with his gym buddy's wife, Rachel. At first, everything seemed perfect. We had just closed on our first house, and Blake was on top of the world. He had reconnected with old friends at his reunion, and I could sense a newfound excitement in him. But I did not think much of it. I was just happy to have him back, to have us back. Little did I know, that reunion was where it all started, his emotional affair with Rachel. As time went on, I started to notice changes in him. He became critical of my appearance and weight. He would make snide comments about my clothes, my hair, and my body. He would compare me unfavorably to other women, and I would feel like I was shrinking, like I was disappearing. I tried to brush it off as insecurity on his part, but deep down, I knew it was something more. He would gaslight me every time I questioned his late nights. "You're being paranoid," he would say. "You're overreacting." And I would doubt myself. I would think, am I being paranoid? Am I overreacting? But now, I know he was just manipulating me, keeping me in the dark. It was not until he panicked about leaving his phone unattended that I started to investigate. He was freaking out, and I could not understand why. That's when I saw the Apple Watch notifications. My heart sank as I scrolled through the messages. There they were, hidden in plain sight, messages to Rachel, sweet nothings, and plans to meet up. I felt like I had been punched in the gut. I could not breathe. I could not think. All I could do was scroll through the messages over and over again, trying to make sense of it all. And then, I saw it. A message that made my world come crashing down. He had a child with Rachel, a child that was older than our relationship. I did not know what to do. I did not know who to turn to. I felt so alone, so lost, but I knew I had to get out of there. I packed my bags and left, not knowing where I was going or what I was doing. I just knew I had to get away from him. My boss, Sarah, was a godsend. She gave me time off to heal, to process everything that had happened. She listened to me, she cried with me, and she supported me. I do not know what I would have done without her. And then, Rachel reached out to me. She sent me a message, apologizing for her part in the mess. She told me she had no idea about me, about our relationship. She said she was just as trapped as I was, just as blind. I did not know what to make of it, but it was a small comfort. As I navigated this new reality, I realized that I had been living in a dream world. I had been living in a world where Blake was my knight, in shining armor, where he loved me and cherished me. But that world was a lie. The real world was messy and complicated, and Blake was just a man with flaws and weaknesses. I was angry, so angry. I was angry at Blake, at Rachel, at myself. I was angry for trusting him, for loving him. But most of all, I was angry for being so blind. I was angry for ignoring the red flags, for ignoring my gut. But as the days turned into weeks, and the weeks turned into months, I started to heal. I started to see things clearly, to see Blake for who he was. I started to realize that I was strong, that I was capable. I started to reclaim my power, my voice. And then, I confronted him. I confronted him in public, in front of all our friends and acquaintances. I told him about the messages, about the child. I told him about the pain he had caused me, about the lies he had told me. And you know what? He did not even try to deny it. He just stood there, smirking, like he was proud of what he had done. "You ruined me," I said, my voice shaking with rage. "You ruined me, Blake. You made me doubt myself, my own sanity. But I am not that person anymore. I am not the person you broke." He just laughed, a cold, mirthless laugh. "You're overreacting," he said. "You're being dramatic." But I was not being dramatic. I was being honest. I was being raw. And I was being strong. "I know what you did," I said, my voice rising. "I know about Rachel, about the child. And I'm not going to let you get away with it. I am not going to let you ruin my life, my reputation. I'm going to make sure everyone knows what you did." And with that, I walked away. I walked away from him, from the pain, from the heartache. I walked away into a new life, a life where I was in control, where I was strong. I walked away into a life where I was free. I am still healing, still processing, but I am not alone. I am not lost. I am found, and I am fierce. And I'm not going to let anyone, including Blake, take that away from me.